back. You're listening to Houston Real Estate Radio. I'm your host, Shannon Register, and today we've talked a little bit about a lot of different things. We started talking a little bit about Tree PAC and the investment that realtors and affiliates make into the PAC that helps educate legislators. It really helps fight for consumer rights, for consumer protection rights. We went around the table and talked with all of our guests today about some of the interruptions that are coming in our industry. The biggest, I think, is the CFPB changes that are coming October 1st. So that was just moved. So it was moved from August 1st to October 1st. And now we're going to talk a little bit about leadership because HAR is having they're bringing in a new board of directors for 2016. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So I'm going to let you take it away, Rob.
Well, I'll take it away. Yes. We have gone through this process since I've been volunteer. This is about the 15th or 16th election that I've been involved with, and I typically get someone comes and says, how do you do this? Because I had to run for director way back in 19.
A past
chairman for HAR, but
I had many times.
I had to run 3 times for director. It was a lot of fun. I got a lot of support, but it is coming up, and I understand it's on July the 20th. And what's going to happen for all the realtors out there and affiliates? You're going to get a little email. You only get to vote one time. So, because I know I've tried and tried, but you only get one shot at it because we do use a third-party vendor who actually handles all the voting. So it's a pretty pure system. And so,
you need to look into that same system the government uses, and that way you can get multiple votes.
Exactly. Well, let's run that suggestion into them. We'll start in Chicago. How's that?
There we go. Anyway. All my dead relatives support you.
Yes, I appreciate that too.
So let's talk a little bit about leadership. So we have 38 people running?
38 people in the running. That's, I think, the most that have ever run.
Somebody wants some change.
I think people are starting to see
getting involved.
I think they see the value of getting involved because a lot of people go, there's no shortage of people willing to take your time for free, first of all. Mm-hmm. But you get back so much more than what you put into this because you learn, you get exposed to people you never would have been exposed to at the national level. I mean, I had dinner with Rich Barton twice. He's the one that founded Zillow. Why would they come see me ever? Because I was hanging out with Bob Hale, that's why. And so we get with these great leaders, and it's very humbling to be involved at that level. You're seeing giants in the industry that you get to stand on their shoulders, and it's pretty cool. So the volunteer piece is that you get to contribute, but you also get to learn a lot, and those things that you probably would never have gotten in your lifetime.
So let's talk a little bit about leadership and what you think, since you've been on the board and you've been a past chair of the Houston Association of Realtors. You know the ins and outs of it. What do you think?
I know where all the bodies are buried.
Oh, gosh. Do I still want to run for this?
Yes, you do. Yes, you absolutely still want to run for this. Leadership is about putting the member first, and then that's my litmus test on everything that we have done. And of course, what we've done with HRER.com is nothing short of phenomenal. And we are the number one website for this association in the country. Zillow was number one in 19
Most
of 20
states.
markets. 19 of 20 markets, and the only market they're not number one in is Houston.
And our consumers, they know to go to HAR.com if they want to look for houses.
And that all comes. We have Taki Risby, who's just an absolute genius, but it's also very membership driven. And so we get great leaders and people who have insight, and we get this amalgam of people out there that we mix together, and it works.
And I think because we have such a great association, everyone wants to protect it and make sure that these things that are coming down the pipe that we see on the horizon that can be dangerous to our association, we want to protect it from them.
And we're getting bombarded all the time because these third-party aggregators they see what is out there, how they can monetize it, because Zillow's, it's a good site. It's not a great site, but it's a good site.
A
lot of misinformation on it. But they have about 250,000, or I'm trying to think of how many realtors they have. They make more money than NAR takes in.
It's just hard to compete with.
And so they've got a lot of money, and they're trying to monetize off of agents. And of course, what we do as HAR is, of course, making sure that it's free and accessible to consumers and to agents, both. And we've done a phenomenal job.
All right, Chris Kelso, you have been a leader in the lending industry for a long time. I know I've known you forever, it seems like. Tell me, what do you think when you look around at the realtors who need to take over that next string of leadership in HAR? What do you think are the qualities that need to be in the association to protect not only the association, but to continue to protect consumer rights as well?
Well, one of the things we're in the new millennial age, right? So millennials are out there. And Rob can do this as well. We've always spoken about this. Is the average age of a realtor in Houston, I think, last time I was speaking with Rob, is like 54, right? And so one of the things that is needed is newer, younger blood to get involved with leadership. I will tell you, communication is probably key. And when I say communication, knowing how to communicate with all individuals up and down, not only the board, but consumers, peers, affiliates, every aspect of communication that's involved right there. And it's not all about the communicating that you and I are doing today on the radio, for example. It's about how to know to communicate on social media or texting, or how somebody needs to be communicated to, because the millennials buy a different way. And that's the new market that we're marketing to. At the same time, what I like about what HAR has always done is they maintain a board that is a good mix of both that youth and the experience. Because guess what? There's a lot of individuals that buy homes that don't communicate in the newer way of doing things. They still take the old-fashioned way, which is absolutely fine. So I love the fact, and I think that's the main thing, is communication and bringing to the board the sort of the new concepts and philosophies and technologies that will carry HAR on into the future.
All right, very good. Tim, you are an affiliate member of HAR. So from an affiliate perspective, what do you think is important for leadership?
Well, you like to see leaders who pay it forward. And we're here with several today who actively look into the future. And, they realize that institutional memory, like civilization itself, it's one generation deep. And things that aren't passed on, and if institutional memory and institutional wisdom isn't passed on and paid forward, then it disappears. There's no place else to do it. So it's nice to see that HAR has experienced leaders who are actively supporting and grooming and recruiting, next generation realtors to step up and support this industry, because things will change, but you'll always need to have a strong industry group, and the only way to have it is to keep it.
I agree with you. I think that's one of the great thing about true leaders, and a quality that sets them apart, is they're the ones who are always looking forward to the future and what you need, and they're reaching back to pull the next leaders forward. And a lot of leaders get in that position and they don't do that. They're all about themselves and what they want to accomplish while they're in that position. And so really, I think looking back and grabbing the next string and bringing them forward and informing them and holding their hand and, sitting next to them at events and telling them what's going on and educating them, that is so important to make them feel comfortable enough and confident enough to move forward. And I'm glad that I had people do that with me so that I'd have the confidence to do it. So I agree
think that's right. You do have the successful lone wolf types, but you also have, the people who are in it for the group. And,
that's right.
You have to have both, because I guess, the lone wolf types generate a lot of revenue, but they're not necessarily there to carry on institutional knowledge. So
yep. All right, Joe, let's hear from Joe Orsak. What's your tidbit on leadership? Because I know you do a lot of networking events. You're out there working with a lot of agents, realtors, helping them to build their business so that they can educate consumers on credit. What do you think are some good leadership qualities that will benefit HAR?
I think probably it's been already kind of touched on, but there's 2 points that I think are critical in leadership, in that servant leadership, to genuinely from the heart have a desire to serve,
be passionate about
is
it.
At the very core of what it means to be a fantastic leader. And to know in that process that you will at some point be taken advantage of, at some point you're going to be underappreciated, et cetera, right? And that none of that matters. If you're going in for self-aggrandizement or self-glory or whatever, those things matter.
Right.
But if you're genuinely there to serve, then it's the outcome that's all that matters. And so that's to me the paramount thing. And then I have a phrase that I use that says leaders are learners and learners are earners. And I think that a leader has to be, especially now more than ever, we live in the information age. You can pretty much learn anything about anything.
Yeah. From YouTube.
I mean, at a touch of a button. I'm a huge Audible fan. I love Audible. I don't know what I would do without Audible. They should put me on the payroll. I've recommended it to so many people. I go through a book about every 7 to 10 days and repeat books all the time. And to me, a leader has to be constantly pursuing excellence, and that's retraining the basics and re-examining the basics and looking at how I can improve as an individual at my craft.
All right, very good. Well, I appreciate your tidbits on leadership. Some great advice there. And we'll be right back here on Houston Real Estate Radio. Thanks for listening today. We'll be right back.
Over the course of these 10 years, I have met hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that are also interested in the note business, some that are pretty successful in it. And over the course of this time period, I've been asked many times why don't you provide some kind of seminar where you can share your experience, your knowledge, the tools that you use, and what you think is important for someone to be successful in this industry. So I'm going to be covering what we actually do with firsts, with seconds, with performing, with non-performing. How do we handle institutional loans? How do we deal with seller finance loans? We're going to have some fun with money math, showing you how to enhance your returns with a simple use of a calculator. And we'll cover some of the note pricing things that we use. If you understand the note business, you could start and manage a fund. And we want to show you how to go about that. We're going to show you fundraising, we're going to show you capital raising. Maybe more importantly, it can be free. How? It can be free because if you buy a note from us, we will give you that $2,997 off of any note that you buy. The registration is going to be held to 50 people because we want a small group. Lunch will be provided every day so that you have the opportunity to not only network, but to visit with our people. I'll be there, Tyler will be there, Chrissy will be there, Sabrina, Ingrid will all be there. Probably a couple other of our people will attend at different days so that you can meet them and find out how they do their job. So, if you're interested in learning about the note business, if you're not too cool to go to school, if you're really interested in buying a note, and your tuition can be used to purchase that note, then there is absolutely no reason for you not to attend.